Hello, this is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Thursday, the 19th of January, and Friday, the 20th of January, 2017. Hope you had a good trading session. Wasn't much here. A lot less exciting than Tuesday, unfortunately. Here's a look at the ES front month futures contract. This market has just been so flat now for the last month after a lot of flat times, frankly, in the second half of last year. You would have thought in an election year a little more volatility, but there really wasn't. And all we really got was the end of year run up, with some of the stocks that were up and a little bit of market roll from the sector roll from the election results. And it's just been so flat. So far, January, we have the expression, if the first 3 days of January are one direction, the rest of the month is usually the other. I guess if your first 3 days are flat, the rest of the month is flat, is what I'm learning. I haven't seen it like this in all my years trading. I've been trading since 1993. So this is very, very unusual activity. Got to wait for something to shake loose. You got to think it will. Almost always happens anyways when there's a change in leadership here in the U.S. Here's, anyways, the front month futures contract. You can see we didn't go anywhere. Let's take a look at the major indices that we follow today. Crude oil down at $1.15 to 51.32. Crude oil inventory data coming out tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday. Gold down $9.10 after the nice run up it's had right off of that 13 buy signal that we got. That was well timed as usual. S&P cash index. It's the S&P 500 up 4, so that's really nothing, just a blip once again. NDX up 11, also just a blip, not really doing anything for the week. Stocks up 12, also a blip. Biotech, this is really a blip. 25 points on this $3,000 index is nothing. The VIX up 61 cents, though. It's a little bit of a move up. We did get a 13 buy signal on the VIX. Now, granted, this isn't something that you buy. You can buy the VXX, but the fact that this has that signal maybe finally means we're going to get some of the volatility. The trend has consistently been high all year so far. Not a single reading in the last 10 days under 1. That's very unusual. 1.07, that puts the 10-day moving average at 1.22. NASDAQ volume only 1.5 billion, the lightest day of the last 10. Advanced decline ratio 402, plus 402 stocks on the NASDAQ, plus 211 on the New York. Google up 156, $1.56 that is. Apple literally down a penny, closed on Tuesday at 120, closed on Tuesday at 120, closed on Wednesday at 119.99. Amazon down 2. Everything's just sitting. Netflix up 37 cents. These are some small numbers for some pretty big moving stocks. Tesla up 278. The TLT, the bonds dropped quite a bit, down 157, and Dow, yeah, looks a little more precarious, doesn't it? Never got that 13 signal with the qualifier. Take the qualifier out, though, we're in trouble. Goldman, this is the one I've been talking about. I'm short Goldman through puts currently, and it is starting to work. And at some point, it will carry the Dow with it. I do want to show you. Let me take the qualifier and turn it off here, just so you understand how this works. So what the qualifier says is that in order to get the 13th candle of our seeker count, in order to get the 13th candle, you have to be above the 8th candle. It's the only side rule to the seeker that we have. And there's some reasons for that. You don't want the back end of the count to be lower than the middle and the front of the count, realistically. That's the fastest way to put it. But if I turn the qualifier off, there it is. See what we got? That's the 13 sell signal about 7 days ago on the Dow. Now, the only reason I point that out is it doesn't change the 13 buy signal that we got back in November, and you can see what happened from there. Now we've got the 13 sell signal starting to roll over. Okay. With the qualifier, what that basically means is that if we were to head up, all we have to do is basically get a new closing high. Okay, a closing high above 20,000, basically. They could have the headline 20,000, right? And then we would get the 13 sell signal. So how do you know whether to use the qualifier or not? Well, you don't always. I'm just saying right now either the sell signal is already in place and it nailed the high, or if we do make a move up, the minute you hit that high, new high, you're going to get it. So it doesn't seem to be a lot of upside potential when you look at it that way, I think is more my point. All right, let's look at the intraday action. Here's 5-minute candles. I mean, look how flat this was. I thought Tuesday was fairly flat. We're inside of Tuesday's action. Most of the day just sideways. I mean, I tried some stuff early on the futures and didn't do much on the stock side. This is not a day you want to go heavy trading anything as it plays out like that. NASDAQ side, a little more of a cup formation, but in the end, same situation, mostly inside of the prior days. Action, we did finally fill the gap from the limited session Monday for futures. All right, so what do we have for economic data? And this is for the rest of the week. Now, remember, this Friday is options expiration. We obviously did not get an options unraveling move on Wednesday, so that still is out there potentially after the first hour on Thursday. We'll be looking for that. Who knows how big the options positions are on the first month of the year, but we'll see. We've got the weekly initial and continuing jobless claims numbers, housing starts and building permits, and Philly Fed. That's all an hour before the bell on Thursday. An hour into the market, we've got natty gas inventories. And then at 11 a.m. Eastern time, we've got crude oil inventories. In terms of Friday, we've got nothing. No economic data, just options expiration. So I would expect maybe the first hour and a half or so, some activity, and then it should be dead going into the weekend. It's been a short week. Hopefully we'll get something going on Thursday and Friday morning. I liked Tuesday. Didn't really like Wednesday. Tuesday was better than Wednesday was bad, but really want to see a little more action than this. And obviously we just want to see better action in general. Hopefully that's coming. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading Thursday and Friday.